What's up everyone? In today's video we're going to be refinishing the front of my BMW E30. She was getting pretty crusty looking, so we're going to get that taken care of. Here's a picture of what it looked like before, and we'll dive into a little bit more detail and the kind of shape this thing was in. Alright, so I just kind of want to give you an idea of what kind of shape the front valence is in. So it's not bad at all. There's a little bit of rust here on the edges, so we're gonna have to clean that up. I don't think that I'm gonna need to replace any sheet metal. My plan is just to take a wire wheel to it and see what's left. But yeah, I'm gonna start stripping this thing down, get the lip off of it, get these plastic brackets off, and we'll go from there. I see the sun when it shines and others I might only see. Alright, so now that I got this thing completely stripped down, it's just metal, there's no plastic fittings or trim or anything left in it. I am going to take a wire brush to it, and because this needs to go all the way down to bare metal to get all this stuff out, and make sure we have a solid piece before we put any paint or primer or anything on it. So here we go. You might have wanted something to do. I've got my heart on backwards. I spend my only days with you. After a lot of hours with this thing, this is where I've got it down to bare metal on all of the places that are exposed. So behind the bumper, like all of this still has a little bit of paint on it, but I'm not too worried about that part as long as it's solid. You can see I hit these little holes anywhere that I could see the paint starting to flake or any sort of rust starting to form underneath the paint. So yeah, it's in pretty good shape. I think next weekend I'm gonna run up to Wichita, borrow my dad's sandblaster, and try to get in some of these corners a little bit better. All right, I just wanted to make a quick little update. I used my dad's sandblaster and got all these corners blasted because that was where most of the rust was. So these brackets are all blasted now, and I got 90% of the rust out of this bumper. And then I also went around and did like all the edges here because there was rust there, those brackets, stuff like that. All right, so here's what I got. This Loctite stuff, never used it before. Says it'll do the job. And also this etching primer. So this is what we're working with. But first, I'm gonna get this thing clean. I'm just using some MEK and Scotch-Brite pad. Alright, so the Loctite stuff actually says on the directions that it can cause rust to unrusted surfaces. So because the majority of this, if any of it, really has any rust on it, I'm not going to use that. So we're going to go straight to our etching primer and shoot some paint. Just to go back over this, this is actually an anti-rust etching primer. So this should work really good for what we're trying to do here. But yeah, so now I basically just wanted to cover all of the spots that have been sandblasted, and that would immediately rust super easy. So I can get this back in my house, keep working on it. Next step is probably just get a real coat of primer on it. All right, what's up everyone? It's been a week. We're back at my house, and when I say we, I just mean me and you guys, I guess. Me and my bumper, I don't know. But anyways, back at my house, I just had a chance to kind of finish out some small little details here and there on places that might be exposed. I can show you real quick. So, like in these corners, they just needed a little bit more sanding. I kind of smoothed some stuff like that down a little bit more, and we can sand that a little bit more too once I get the filler primer down. But basically that's what I've done. You notice that there's some green on it too, because last weekend I ran out of that etching primer. Still got some other etching primer. Another thing that I did just to kind of play it safe is I shot everything that I'm using, like all the types of primer and all the paint and everything, on this piece of cardboard, because I am using some different paint and primer. I just wanted to make sure that everything was going to be happy together, and basically I wasn't going to get some sort of weird reaction. So I'm going to keep this piece of cardboard around for the week, and then next weekend, before I go any further, I'll just make sure that that hasn't done anything weird. I don't get paint peeling up or some sort of strange reaction that's going to ruin this bumper. But yeah, so that's where we're at right now. I've sanded everything down and cleaned it, and so now I'll just hit it with my filler primer. I'm using this U-Pole brand again. Never heard of them. AutoZone has it. The etching primer worked pretty decent. So yeah, we'll get some of this filler primer down. I also picked up the same brand of sealer. So once I'm done with filler and sanding and all of that, I'll use the sealer. And then after that, just while I have you here, I'm using this paint matched rattle can from a local paint shop. Basically, this is like the E30 original paint is water-based. So you're not gonna get, obviously you can't get water-based rattle can, or maybe you can, but whatever. Anyways, shooting water-based paint is really complicated. So they just used a machine which scans the E30 paint and was able to paint match it pretty close to what we have here. I already did a little bit of it on a mirror that I kind of refinished because the paint was fading really bad. Anyways, so yeah, that's the paint products that we're working with, and I'll get some filler primer on this thing and we'll keep moving. All right, so fast forward, basically a couple, 2, 3, 4, however many weekends it's been. And right now where I'm at with the bumper is I have my filler primer that I've already sanded and got everything in pretty good shape. And then right now it has a coat of sealer primer down on it. So what I'm doing now is just going through with the gray Scotch-Brite pad and just kind of smoothing everything down. So once I've done that, I can wipe it down, hit it with the tack cloth, and then I am ready to start shooting some paint on this thing. So what I'm gonna do first is basically try to start in all the areas that are kind of in the corners or at weird angles. I'm gonna hit them first with metallic paint, and then I'm gonna come back over the top of everything and try to get one really good even coat over the top. That way I'm not having weird issues with metallic flake, and I'm not getting weird streaks and stripes and stuff like that in the paint. So that's what I'm gonna try. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely not a auto body guy, but that's the method that makes sense to me, and so we're gonna see what happens. So I'll film some stuff, and hopefully it turns out decent. I will be using a headlamp to shoot this because the lighting in my garage is pretty atrocious. So we're working with what we got. Don't make fun of me. Thanks. Alright, so this will be coat number 2. Hopefully this is the last coat. And yeah, let's get it done.
Finding what you had in mind and seizing and the tides. I don't wanna wait for you to give in, I don't want to. I don't wanna wait for you to give in, I don't want to. I don't wanna wait for you to give in, I don't want to. I don't wanna wait for you to give in, I don't want to.
So here's how the paint laid out. I'm pretty happy with it. I will say that like as it was soft and dried and got dust in it, the surface is just kind of like, I don't know, it needs like clay barred or polished or something to pull out just like the top layer of dust that I think is stuck to it. But all in all, I'm really happy. It's pretty even. There's no big splotches or anything. As you can see, pretty clean. So I think it'll turn out good. You can also see I have this little brake duct kind of just chilling out in there so you can get an idea. And I also had a chance to repaint the front lip. So that'll be going back on. And the other thing I wanted to show is I made these carbon fiber fog light covers because my fog lights were busted. That was a whole thing. So I decided I had this carbon fiber, see what it, kind of like what I think this might look okay. I don't know. I don't know if it'll look cool. I don't know if it'll look dumb, but we're gonna try it out and see how it looks. And if it looks dumb, I'll just paint it black and we'll move on. But that's the update. I'm gonna start trying to get this thing put together. All right, a little bit of a fast forward update. You can see the lip is on and also the brake ducts with fog lights and fog light covers. What I ended up doing was just putting the fog lights back in, and then I just JB welded the carbon fiber right over the top, and it looks pretty clean. I'm not too mad about it, and I think it should stay pretty well. So this piece right here I have painted. I'm just waiting for it to dry before I put it back on. But now we're gonna try to get this thing back on the front. All right, guys, as you can see, the front fascia, lower valence, whatever you want to call it, is on the car. It looks really good. I can't wait to see it with the rest of the bumper on. So we're about to toss this on. The fender liners and everything are back in the car. So we're kind of just working on the last details. Then I got to toss the grill in and that sort of thing, but we're getting really close. Okay, so the time has finally come to finish this project up. First thing we're gonna do, I gotta get the bumper pulled off, and then we'll get new headlights and turn signals in it, and that should be good to go. Alright, so as you can see, this should be a pretty nice upgrade. I got these from Schmiedbin online. This is not a plug for them, but I've had super good luck with them. I get really good parts from them. These are depot lights, and they look pretty good, so stick them in. Alright, so here is the new ones versus the old ones. You can see those are cracked and all the reflective is like rusting off on the inside. So pretty big difference there. Finally, here's some clips of how this thing turned out. I'm really happy with how it looks. This was a really fun project. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll see you later.